Hey everyone, this is Matthew Movies coming at you, and I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the week in wrestling. Now, usually I wait until after I've seen NXT to do this, but honestly, I've found that NXT lately hasn't really had much of note on it that I've really gotten all that drawn into. So, and there was a couple things I really wanted to say about Raw and SmackDown, so I figured I'd jump right into it. First off, there's, like always, I'm just going to touch on a few of the major themes of the shows. Well, first off, I'm going to talk about the cruiserweights and the whole storyline where the cruiserweights don't like Kendrick and they don't think he's going to be able to keep them on Raw. Like the whole problem with this Survivor Series show to begin with, like, and I'm going to touch on this a bit more later, is why the hell do any of those cruiserweights give a crap if they're on Raw or if they're on SmackDown? What difference does that make to any of them? None of them have anything on the line. Like, why would they be giving Kendrick a hard time? And I'll say this, I think it's a real big issue when the two people that they put together to be like the focus of of all the talent on both Raw and SmackDown, who are they going to be like? Who's going to be representing the cruiserweight division? And it's going to be Brian Kendrick and Kalisto. I drew a blank on his name there for a moment. Neither of which I think are anywhere close to over enough to really be like the bankable stars of the division. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always been a huge Brian Kendrick fan. I think he's incredibly talented, and I think Kalisto, if he'd been pushed better, could be a whole lot more valuable. But given their current state, I don't think either of them are anywhere near as over enough to get to be the person to focus the whole division on. That's why, if you asked me, the division has been really floundering on Raw. And if you ask me, I think they should call up Austin Aries, and you can make him he's the trademark star of the cruiserweight division, and you can have everything revolve around him. And I really think Neville should be involved in the cruiserweight division as well. And you can have a couple, those two guys alone could really, really up the ante as far as how everything goes. It'd give a lot of these guys a lot more time to get over with the crowd. Like, I think Rich Swann is awesome, and he could really be a difference maker if he's given more of a character just than he's the good time guy who likes to dance to the ring. And I know he did that on the indies and it got him over, but you got to give him some kind of storyline, like something to bite into. And I feel, if you had Austin Aries there versus Rich Swann and Aries as the heel, I think that could be an awesome feud, like very similar to what his feud was like with No Way Jose in NXT. The only other thing from Raw that I'm really going to touch on here is the Goldberg and Brock section of the show, which I thought was all right. I thought it was pretty entertaining. It wasn't great, but honestly, the biggest thing I took away from it is, dear Lord, does Goldberg sweat a lot when he gets into the ring. Like, it makes me worried about the idea of him taking part in a match, because the guy sweats that much just standing there. What's going to happen when he actually has to do moves? I mean, it's been great having him back. I really honestly think so. I was never a huge Goldberg fan back in the day because I thought his character was way too one note. Like, but when he was on the winning streak that never ever ended, every time he'd come out, I'd be like, gee, I wonder what's going to happen here. And then when he finally did win, it was such a stupid and anticlimactic way that, I never really bought that much into him. But, I've never seen him seem as on fire as he is now, because I think the difference is that basically that you don't have the one note, I'm the great good guy, I'm gonna win everything character. He seems a little bit vulnerable. He's going up against Brock Lesnar, who could destroy most people in this world, but at the same time, he's out there, and he really seems like somebody who just wants to be doing this for the kids out there, and has like a great spirit, and he's speaking from the heart, and it's been very, very refreshing. As far as SmackDown goes, I really am getting sick of James Ellsworth. I think the only reason why I feel that way is because he should not be in the main event storylines. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of this guy. Like, I love the idea of this wrestler who never ever should have gotten a shot at the big league having this run in the WWE. That's amazing, right? And like, he's got such a unique and odd look that it's inspiring that guy managed to get this run. But at the same time, when he's like when AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose are feuding, it shouldn't be all about him. Like, to me, if he was on the show, and even if he was still Dean Ambrose's little buddy, but he had his own storyline going up against like Baron Corbin. Like Baron Corbin, the lone wolf that hates everybody, versus James Ellsworth, like that's something you could bite into. But when he's in there tangling it up with AJ Styles, it's like, come on. On SmackDown, if you haven't seen it yet, The Miz wins the championship back, the Intercontinental Championship back from Dolph Ziggler, and I was ecstatic to see that take place. One, I feel like The Miz was a much, much better champion. He's been on fire in the last year. Basically, ever since Maurice came back, he has just been fantastic. And Dolph Ziggler is about as cold as you can get to me. Like, I don't care about him when he comes out, which is a real shame, because I used to be a huge Dolph Ziggler fan, but they've just given him such crappy storylines. I've just lost most of my interest in him. Then Alexa Bliss is trying to get another women's championship match, and I love it. I think she is fantastic. One of my favorite people on either show. She's got, like, she is committing to her character, and she really seems like a nasty lady, and it's awesome. I love it. Like, she's just so good. I love it. Edge being back, I thought the whole Talking Smack segment was kind of crap. I thought Edge did as good a job as anybody could in that segment, and he was a breath of fresh air getting him back in there, and he had such great timing and delivery, and he was awesome. But it was a nonsense scene. Like, it was crap in my opinion. Like, it was all about the Survivor Series main event match, and I just have no interest in it. And the major thing, honestly, that I kept thinking to myself was, when I was watching, I was like, I wonder when Christian's gonna get into the Hall of Fame, because he really should be in the Hall of Fame. And then they bring Taker out and they say it for, like, just to threaten them, and it's like, seriously, like, this guy hasn't been on your television since WrestleMania, and you're bringing him back out, and that's what you come up with him to do, like, for him to do, is to threaten Team Blue that if they lose to SmackDown that they're gonna have him to answer to. Like, why does he care? They even pointed out when he walked to the ring, yes, he used to be a SmackDown exclusive guy, and everybody, like, associated him with SmackDown for years. But they even went so far as to point out when he's walking to the ring that it's been like 3.5 years or something like that since he's been on SmackDown. And for the last several years, he's only ever appeared on Raw. So why on earth would he be like, Team SmackDown's gotta win? Like, come on. Like, it doesn't fit the character. It's stupid. It's nonsense. The whole feud between the two is garbage, in my opinion. Like, which is what I'm gonna get to in 1 second. It's my main issue of the week by far. But why the dead man character would give a crap about this is just beyond me. And now, like I said, I want to do a little bit of a preamble here. When I was a kid, I loved Survivor Series. You know, when you had the old, like, the whole old teams where it was like Roddy's Rowdies, and like all those teams, like they were great. I loved them. The elimination format was awesome. I always loved, like, where you'd have like you'd have one good guy left against like 4 bad guys, and you'd be like, come on, you can do it. And I love it. Right now, the way they've done it in the last several years, but this year in specific, I hate Survivor Series. I think it is so bad. And I think the reason why I hate it is, one, you have the 3 matches, right? The women's championship, or the women's Survivor Series match, the men's main event Survivor Series match, and the tag team. Who cares? There's nothing on the line. Like, on the same show, they have the Miz now versus somebody from Raw. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. And if the Miz loses, the Intercontinental title goes to Raw. And if Kalisto beats Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight Championship, the whole Cruiserweight division goes to SmackDown. There are things on the line there that I'm interested in seeing how that plays out. However, in the main event storylines of the Survivor Series matches, aside from the Lesnar-Goldberg match, there is nothing on the line other than bragging rights. And who cares? I do not like. I like SmackDown better than Raw generally, almost every week. But I don't give a crap about if SmackDown gets bragging rights. I mean, the only way in which I care even a smidgen is that if Raw wins, it'll just be more evidence of their never-ending obsession with Raw having to come out on top of things. But beyond that, I could not care less if I tried. And the thing is, too, is there have been so many instances now where it's just, it's infuriating. Like on SmackDown, on Raw, the SmackDown team shows up and beats up the Raw guys. And like the SmackDown guys are supposed to hate each other. Why are they all working together? The only time in which they went even remotely explain this at all is like on this last SmackDown. You had a moment where Dean said to AJ that he agreed to work with him just this once, and when this is over, that he was gonna get him. And okay, fine, maybe that one moment made it a tiny bit better, but generally speaking, it's been utter crap. Like, and the worst example by far was when I was watching SmackDown. My mind like was so blown, and I was so like flabbergasted when the Raw women's team came out and attacked Nikki Bella. You actually had a scene where 5 or 6 Raw women came out and were attacking Nikki Bella, and one of them was Bayley. Like, that is so the antithesis of what the Bayley character is supposed to be. She could be seen as a group of 5 people punching somebody who had no way of defending themselves and kicking them. I think it was kick. I think she just kicked. But you know what I mean. Attacking somebody who was incapable of defending herself, while 4 other women were doing it. One, like, she is supposed to. Her character comes out with a shirt saying "I'm a hugger." She's supposed to be for the little person and the like the cheerleader and the somebody who's always gonna do the right thing, even if it's the unpopular thing. Like, she's supposed to be the ultimate good guy, and that's why she was so popular at NXT. Can you imagine the whiplash her fans that we used to follow her in NXT, the little kids, would get if they showed her coming out and giving everybody hugs, and then they cut to her as part of 5 people beating up Nikki Bella? And that'd be fine if they were going to turn her heel. I mean, I still wouldn't love it, because I think they've so screwed up her character since bringing her to the main roster, and it would be stupid to not at least try to rehab it and get a good run out of her good guy character or good woman character. But man, that you know as well as I do that come Monday, when the Survivor Series stuff is over, she's gonna be right back to being the hugger. But then she literally was in a gang style beatdown of somebody on Tuesday. Like, that is unbelievable to me. It so points to the fact that the WWE creative team does not give a crap about any of these characters. They'll just shove them in any situation. Like on SmackDown as well, they had the SmackDown tag team that is going to fight the Raw tag team, getting basically a speech to get them a motivational speech from Booker T, King Booker, which was funny seeing King Booker. But then you had all these guys who were like, yeah, and right in the corner are the Usos, who are supposed to be bad guys, who have been so much better since they turned bad, and they've had this edge, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, SmackDown, we're team players now. Like, come on, it's so crap. Like, if you're gonna create these characters, you have to have them have an internal logic that is consistent. Otherwise, why would we care about them? Like, come on. Like, Survivor Series is not nearly a big enough deal that they should be throwing asunder all of these characters' foundations. And even if it was, just stop being so lazy and write them in a manner that would make sense. Like, Bayley could be still present, because maybe you could have it in the storyline that she was forced to be there, but she doesn't have to be taking part in the beatdown, and she could be trying to stop the other girls. But then when the rest of the SmackDown ladies come, she joins back up with them, because now it's a fair fight. Like, it's not hard. But they're so lazy and they're so obsessed with just having their moment the way they want it that they don't care about the character, and it's infuriating. So that's my thoughts on the WWE this week. Not great week in my opinion at all. A few things that are good, but just that Survivor Series stuff drives me nuts. So that's gonna be it for me. Comment down below if you agree with my opinions and or disagree, and have yourself a nice day. Subscribe. Have a nice day.